Patrick Cook here. Hey, thanks for joining me in our continuation of the Mandelbulb3D Tutorial Series that is centered around pursuing a Mandelbulb3D animation project. And along the way, we pick up a discussion about the various features, functions, and capabilities of the Mandelbulb3D software. So now continuing here, so the way we left off, I'm developing a fractal which I'm going to use to be able to animate through, and I want this to be a high quality and interesting fractal animation. So I take my time and get this thing right. Now, okay, so let's see where I'm at here. So let's take this view, bring it over to main. Okay, good. I don't really like it. I don't really like these artifacts here. Let's change our position. Let's look. Let's look around. I'm going to push that to main. I don't really like these structures here. What's going on? I'm going to get rid of that. I don't like it. I'll tell you what's worked for me in the past. When I get to a point where I don't really like the graphic, it's too detailed, or it doesn't make any sense. One trick that I do, as a matter of fact, we do this in photography a lot too. In photography, the concept of black and white photography, they often say that you remove the color which interferes with understanding the photographic image or the statement that the photograph is attempting to make. In other words, get rid of the color to understand the statement of the photograph. Sometimes what I do when I get into a situation like this where the graphic just doesn't seem to be gelling for me, I will remove the color, and I get a better sense for what's going on. Let's just take this one right here, push it over to main. All right. Now I got green going on in here. I've got some browns going on in here. I don't know where these colors came from. They're obviously an artifact of something somewhere, or maybe it's a default. So we're going to turn our attention to the lighting now, but only to clean up this image and get rid of the color. And I'll show you how to do that. This is just all part of kind of the artistic approach. We are not ready for lighting. Not at all. I don't even have a graphic I like. I am not going to start working on lighting only to come over here and change the graphic pattern. If I do that, my coloring gets all thrown off. You see, in a 3D fractal environment, you have a wide variety of surfaces, and these surfaces are at different Z points. They're at different depths from you, the camera perspective. Let's just take a look here. So these greenish things here, all right, they're closer to the viewer, closer to the camera than, say, out here or out here. All right. So if I move from the camera out this way, I am actually increasing my position on the z-axis. Now here's my point. The coloring in a 3D environment has a close relationship with the z-axis. We can actually see it here. You see here that I have green on the portion of the Mandelbulb graphic that's closer to the camera. And the green dissipates, and I don't have the green out here further away. So the point I'm making is this, that if I start playing around with the lighting too soon, I may have green here, and then I come over here and I adjust my parameters, and the z-axis and the y-axis and the x-axis is all different now. Then I come over to, and I see my colors are all wrong. All of a sudden I might have green down here, further away on the z-axis, okay, or closer, or I have no green at all because the color was placed on that 3D graphic based upon its Z position. Here's the rule of thumb that I have learned. Do your graphic first, do the lighting next. And then, to take it a little bit further, then do your animation. Don't try to don't spend the time in setting up keyframes on something that you're going to come in here and change, because now your keyframes won't make any sense. If you had a keyframe and another keyframe, all right, and if you don't have a nice contiguous movement from this keyframe to this keyframe, it'll go along and then jerk as it tries to find its position within the X, Y, and the Z coordinates. Boop. And you do not have an animation. You've got something entirely different. Animation last. Certainly if you're not doing an animation, you're just going for a still, the still is last. So generally the optimal way to create a Mandelbulb 3D graphic, whether it's a still or an animation, is settle in your graphic first, get to a point where you probably won't change the graphic structure, then do your lighting, then do your still or your animation in that order. All right, but anyway, back to what I was going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the color in this this graphic here so that I can better understand the structure, the pattern of the graphic, and help me to settle in the design of the graphic. So I'm going to go to the lighting panel on the main page. There's a preset here, down here. All right, it's a preset neutral. It's installed with the application. I'm going to just hit that. And what that did is it basically eliminated all the color within my scene. The green is no longer here. All right. And I know that because I can, and we'll be looking at the light panel as well. But I know that because now here, I mean, it's eliminated all of the color. You see? All right. Now it's a little dark, so I'm going to take this opportunity and just kind of lighten it up a bit. Something like that. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm just, we're going to get to this. All I'm doing is I'm just lightening it up so that I better understand, so that I can see the graphic design better. Here we go. Okay. You see, all I'm really concerned about is, can I see the graphic pattern? Okay. Good enough. Good enough. Good. I want to see the graphic pattern. All right. Now what I'm going to do is we're coming up on the end of this session. I'm going to save this as, where am I? 05. Okay. No color. Okay. All right, good. I'm going to pull that over to here. I'm going to lighten it up a bit so that I can see what I'm doing. Now, visually, I have really changed everything here, but that's okay because I'm in the process of developing a Mandelbulb 3D object. I am not trying to impress myself with color. I'm not trying to design a final in terms of a final presentation. What I'm trying to do here is to come up with my graphic environment of which I believe that I can animate and do a fly through. And so, and then I can color it once I get all that, when I get the graphic all squared away. And then I can start making things like really nice. All right, I can come over here and I can do all kinds of stuff, you know, with my coloring. I can have a grand old time with the coloring. But as I said a few minutes ago, if I start coloring before I'm done with the graphic design, the color is not gonna hold. It's not gonna be the same. So I don't want to color. I don't want any color while I'm designing. If I get to a point where the color is interfering with my design. All right, does that make sense? All right, so let's end this session. I'll see you in the next one, and we'll continue this project, and somehow we're going to get this done. I'll see you then.